Welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self-Care Challenge. My name is Robin Knott, and I'm your host of the channel and the founder of the energyhealingschool.com. So today I'm going to walk you through my journaling process and share some real-life examples along the way. If you have your journal, I have mine. Come journal with me. Remember, as always, before we journal, just want to get in that space of being open. And forgive me, a static is pulling hair into my face, driving me a little nuts. But be open. Allow yourself to just feel, think, let things come up. I like to write out the word self-care challenge because for us, self-care is an acronym. And today we are focusing on the letter A in self-care, which stands for acceptance. And in my healing system, remember Best You, we are focusing on the letter O for observer. So getting in that observer mode, excuse me, which is all governed by the third eye chakra energy. So pulling that in as well. And I write down the journal prompt. How do you accept challenges as a caregiver? So that's our prompt for the day. And then just wait and listen. When we ask other people questions, right, we wait a second or a minute, however long it takes, to let them respond. We'll do that for yourself as well. And sometimes it takes more than a minute. Sometimes the mind just either avoids or wants to go off on a tangent, maybe draws a blank, whatever it may be, it's fine. Just sit with it, ask the question again, see what comes up. So, Stacy, if you happen to watch this, by the way, thank you for commenting on the post. And I wasn't trying to be a PETA, but I was just trying to draw some examples, if you will. So I know our situations are different too. But still, I wanted to, just get as much information as I could there. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So again, how do you accept challenges as a caregiver? Be aware of your thoughts and feelings and needs. Be aware of any changes that may occur, because right when you choose to become a caregiver, excuse me, how does that affect your life? So whether if it's at a job, are there certain hours will you be on call? Maybe that will make some changes in your life, your lifestyle, your normal routine if you have one, right? If you're caring for a loved one, what challenges does that make? Will you be staying in their home? Do they stay in yours? How many hours or days a week, right? Is it all the time? Are you able to have any time to yourself, like to leave the house? And if not, how will you manage your self-care? And if so, do you know who's going to sit with your loved one while you're gone? Like, there's just many things to consider, right? And it's okay. It can be overwhelming, but it's okay. Just acknowledging and being aware of what those are. Also acknowledge that caregiving can be hard, right? So as we talked about during the week, sometimes in the beginning of the caregiving process, we're like really motivated. Something happens and you're just very determined and motivated to be a helper, right? Then over a period of time, you might start to get tired and exhausted, right? Empaths carrying on all these extra emotions and feelings and whatever dis-ease might be going on with a loved one, and then for yourself, and then whoever else is coming around on top of that, whatever other energy is in the environment then that you might be picking up on. Excuse me. So then that energy shifts and changes and might get heavy if you're not taking good care of yourself, right? And I get it. You might be saying, when do I take care of me? How can I take care of me? Right? Caregiving takes a lot, and it does. And it doesn't always have to be a lot of time or massive big activities, right? We can incorporate even small things throughout the day for ways to take care of us that can make a big difference. But the point being, don't try to avoid or ignore your concerns. Don't try to avoid or ignore that these challenges come up. So don't avoid or ignore that shift in energy, right? Don't avoid or ignore the heaviness of the energy, or when you feel yourself having some additional challenges too. Call it out, let it be gentle with yourself, right? Again, if we acknowledge that caregiving can be hard, then we can be more gentle with ourselves. Sometimes we go into these things with unrealistic expectations, right? I know we've talked about those before as we talk about codependency patterns, having those unrealistic expectations that we can just heal the world, be everybody's helper, do all these things, right? Without having to take care of ourselves or without having our own risks and our own health. So Stacy had commented on one of my posts that, that consideration of the physical movement of a person even. So making sure that both people are safe in that process. If you have to help someone stand up, or if you have to shift them or move them from one position to another, from a bed to a wheelchair or a wheelchair to another thing. Do you have a lift? Do you have enough people to help you, right? There's all kinds of things to consider in caregiving depending on the person's needs. Stay present as much as possible, right? Be very mindful. Don't allow yourself to jump on the hamster wheels. Grab a tissue. I feel like I might be sneezing again. Lots of sneezes today. Don't let what ifs throw you into the hamster wheel. So that's that part of being mindful and present in the moment, which when a loved one has someone, again, loved one, patient, client, if they have a lot of stuff going on or if they're having new challenges, then you may have worries for them as well. And the mind can start getting into those what if situations. What if this happens? Then what? What if this happens? Then what? What if this happens? Then what? And then it just increases more stress on you and the people around you, right? So try to stay in this moment. Deal with any what ifs if they occur and when that happens, right? If and when it occurs. What's occurring right now? And it's challenging too sometimes just waiting to find out, right? When something's going on, you're waiting for results of a test or something. In those moments of you're just waiting to see, it can be challenging. But again, acknowledge that it's challenging, normalize, because it is normal to be in that situation and to feel the feelings that you're feeling. Be gentle with yourself and just let yourself feel what you need to feel, right? Journal on it, write it out, talk to someone if you can. Excuse me. Meet yourself with love and compassion. We talked about that day before yesterday, right? Right. Always meet yourself with love and compassion. Toss the blame, shame, and guilt. Even when you get frustrated, you don't need it. No blame, shame, and guilt, right? Own it. Like, don't ignore it or deny it. Own it. But reflect and see what led to that stress and frustration. Because once we know, we have that awareness and we acknowledge the process, then we can interject before it gets to that point, right? We could take better care of ourselves before we get to that level of frustration. And observe, don't absorb. We get in that observer mode, right? Try not to personalize, which can be challenging, especially if your client, patient, loved one is directly speaking to you when they are frustrated themselves. And it can be challenging to then not take it personal when it seems very personal, right? So then all of that being governed by third eye chakra energy. When that energy is wonky, you may experience headaches, blurred vision, sinus issues, smile because of all this going on right now, anxiety, confusion, fear, loneliness, lack of purpose, like feeling that lack of purpose. I think not especially, but if you feel like caregiving is part of your purpose and then it's challenging and then you're beating yourself up because you feel like you're failing, that like adds on a whole nother layer, right? Because now you're delving into what you feel your purpose is. So please make sure that you journal on that. Talk to someone if you need to. Sign up for the BU challenge. Don't let me forget to mention that. the 5 days of breaking these patterns of codependency, which is that hamster wheel, right? Those types of patterns of personalizing and not taking good care of ourselves. Check the description box for the links and the information for that. Also, trying not to forget to say, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because that really helps out, and I appreciate that so much. I appreciate all of you who have been supportive along the way. Let me know in the comments how you are doing in your journaling process and how this journal prompt was for you. And I will see you tomorrow for Crown Chakra Energy, talking about receiving unconditional love.